Good evening, everybody. For those of you that are new to the channel, I appreciate the subscribe. The last video I posted got quite a few views, and I posted it as the Orville 50 thing, and went into the whole prophecy aspect of it, because that's what my channel is basically about. It's about the visions that I receive, and the trying to bring the awareness to other people. And it's kind of hard to judge it if you don't know the whole story. So I suggest that you go back and start with the first prophecy and predictions video, and that'll give you a background for the people that don't believe and that think it's just a bunch of malarkey. So also the smoke detector is not here. It's in the hallway, and it's an industrial one that you got. It's just a bunch of bullshit, and it's not mine, so you're gonna have to deal with it, I guess, for now. But so the reason I'm making this video tonight is, it drives me crazy too, trust me. The reason I'm making this video tonight, and I travel for work, by the way, so that's, I won't be here very much longer, but whatever. So the reason I'm making this video tonight is, as I was looking through the comments of that video that I was just talking about, I noticed that there was talk of these twins, and someone said something about Beyonce having, if Beyonce has twins when the dam breaks, and somebody else said something about twins, and twins kept popping up. So I was just like, I thought about it, but I didn't really think about it too much. I was just aware of it. So this morning, went to crack an egg, and the egg comes out, and there's two yolks, 2 eggs in one shell. So I was like, that's odd. So this, I tell my buddy, and well, he tells his girl, and she's like, oh, twins, or it's twins or something like that, and whatever. So I thought to myself, there's got to be some type of significance with that. Like, I'm like, it's definitely a sign. So anyway, as the day progressed, this whole twin thing started leading up, and I thought about that, and I just started contemplating what this twins thing means, and I'm thinking, is it a separation, or is it, like what is it? Like, I'm trying to think of what it would mean, to me. So as the minute I'm thinking about all this, an ad pops up on the screen that was 4 minutes and 43 seconds long. Now, if you've been following along, I talk about this 43, and this whole thing all the time. So the ad pops up, and it's the exact number, 443. It's either 444 or 443. It's just crazy. But anyway, the ad is 443, and so it immediately catches my eye. I look at it, and so I'm like, 443. So I go to press after the 5 seconds, skip ad, and I'm like, wait a minute, what was the commercial? What was it about? So I think it was the Ford Fusion commercial. I'm sure a lot of you have heard it and seen it. But anyway, when I skipped it, all it said was the Ford Fusion, and then it skipped. So Fusion was the last thing I heard, and I was like, holy shit! The 2 eggs together, fusion, and twins, like fusion, and it just basically what I've been talking about with this energy thing is, for those of you that are interested in the Emerald Tablets, Thoth says that when two become one, know the veil has been lifted, we've made free from the fog. And that is essentially what I believe this represents, when two become one, fusion. And that also represents our consciousness. So the energy and all the crazy stuff that's taking place right now with the energy of our planet and the solar system and just everything, the energy that's here physically on the earth, and I can't help but think it's my spirit guides urging me of this fusion that's taking place, not only with the timelines converging, with this whole Mandela effect, and everything's converging, everything is fusing, and fusion is also 0 point. You know what I mean? When the point where two come together is also 0 point. They cancel each other out, and that's what essentially I've been talking about when this pole reversal happens. Essentially, when we go through a positive, then a neutral, then negative, and it's in that neutral space that we got that. See, if you try to love somebody, you're not love. We've been told love means something that love doesn't mean. Love is not caring for somebody or being emotionally attached. Love is not, love is none of the sex, none of that. Love is none of that. The true essence of love is what we exist as, and it's a state of not, because to say you're in love, that means you're attached. You have an attachment to somebody else. That means that person has power over you. That means that you're at the mercy of an outside force, an outside influence, and everything lies within. So to love somebody, I'm not saying not to care about people, and that's I'm not saying that emotion doesn't exist, but that's not technically love for what love is described as in the Bible, and at its core essence, love is Christ, or that state of being, which is a state of oneness and with no intention. It's a state of following, not leading. And all these, when we come this two into one, is basically when our subconscious and our conscious merge, and at the prime meridian, at the 0 point, at the singularity, is where basically we get our power from, because we exist as a positive already. We are a positive wrapped in a negative. Our conscious mind is the negative. We basically, our mind is our conscious mind is a computer. It's a platform for your soul, and it should be used as a computer without judgment. It should be used like a computer. So emotions are like angels and demons, and when you have these conflicting things within you, it destabilizes your force, your field, and it's destruction. It's like an explosion. An explosion is basically going against the grain, going against nature, like Nikola Tesla said that we should work in harmony with nature, because working in harmony with nature holds all the secrets, and working in harmony with the magnetic field that surrounds us, and the energy that we could light the world, and that these explosions and these, like a car engine for example, it's combustion, it's run off of gas. So the gas is combusting in a chamber. It's destruction. It's destroying. Something is being destroyed to create pressure, and that is working in opposite to the way that we're supposed to be operating. We're supposed to be operating in harmony. So when you have these emotions that conflict, it's the same thing as that combustion. You're constantly combusting, and it means your creation power, your manifestation power isn't going to be whole. It's going to have holes. It's just like the sun. The sun has this magnetic field around it, and different vortexes, and it opens in different spots where there'll be like a coronal hole. That's if you imagine your emotions as a ball of energy or light that exists within you, and you imagine them conflicting, it's the polarity is going to cause the same thing that happens on the sun, just a scattered, just, it's not going to be uniform, it's not going to be in order, it's going to be in chaos. So from chaos to order means not this whole Illuminati plot that everybody says, from chaos to order is the state that we are going to be brought to with the changes in the energy. From chaos to order is essentially what we are destined for. And it's where it says that on the dollar bill with the pyramid, ironically, here comes money again, where it says that with that dollar bill with the pyramid, that pyramid just so happens to be the oldest relic that has been found down in South America, and it has the oldest language pretty much known to man, and on the bottom it has the constellation of Orion inlaid with gold, and the words that say, "The Son of the Creator shall return." The Son of the Creator returns, I believe. And the Son of the Creator is the Son of the Sun. It's not really a hard riddle to put together. So in regard to the Son of the Sun, or the smaller sun, or the dwarf sun, or Nemesis, whatever you want to call it, these two yolks, an egg together, funny enough, a yolk looks like a sun. These two eggs are portrayed. I remember back in the day, the commercials used to have the eggs portrayed with the sun, and the cows, and the cartoon type. And I love eggs, remember? So anyway, the two yolks in the egg, the two suns, the twins, represented. It's just, it's amazing that if anybody just thinks that this is just me trying to string coincidences together, you're absolutely right. Because that's what it is essentially. But they're not coincidences, because when you start understanding that everything that happens to you throughout the day is not a random act. Everything that happens has already happened. Everything that happens has already happened. You just don't remember. And not only has it happened, but it's happened in every way that you could possibly fathom. So, a lot of people get hung up on this huge space that we have, that we think is huge to operate in, and they don't pay attention to the little details. And the little details are everything. It's living in the moment and moving moment to moment within that moment without projecting emotion, which is love or fear. And that may sound like, okay, so what are you telling us, to be some, heartless, cold fucking excuse my language, some heartless, cold sociopath? No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is you're still capable of loving people, but when you become codependent, that is just as bad as an addiction, and people do treat it like an addiction. And when you become codependent on people, places, things, that is the same as worshiping false idols, because you're directing your intent and your desire, at whatever it is. So as long as you understand that everything you think, literally everything you think, will happen, it just takes a couple days for it to manifest with the way that the energy used to be. I can feel it speeding up. It used to take a week for me to see these manifestations, and that was it took a lot for me to believe then, because back then I didn't have much faith in it. I just I thought I was on something, and it was just like I kind of just half believed it, half didn't, for a long time. And then it started speeding up, and then everything started rushing at me so fast, and it's gotten to the point where it drives me crazy, and everything is a synchronicity to me. Everything, it doesn't matter, it's like this, like everything is just woven together, like everything synchronizes with everything. Everywhere I go, everything I do, everything, I'm synchronized, like I'm in sync. And when you're back to this when with this love thing, when you love people, you understand that they exist perfectly as love too. So this may sound cold-hearted, but you don't extend your energy. You can't need or depend on anybody. You need to depend on yourself in this energy, and you need to love yourself, because by loving yourself, you are loving that other person. And whether you realize it or not, you're only doing harm to you and that person by being attached. And I know that goes against everything that people believe, and makes them comfortable, because a lot of people's worst fear is being alone. And it's something that we have to find evidence to solidify our belief in. So once you start recognizing these things and understanding it, and it comes to your awareness, then start seeing how you can implement it and how it fits for you. And this is what the book is about. The link is below. This is what the book's about. Like I said, I set it up on a donation basis, so I could very easily do it with the guy that has 1 million Facebook commercials. I'm not even gonna say his name, but the guy that always shows his Lamborghini and stuff. I could do what he does and sell my program for $500, because that's how much he charges, and it just gives you I have a couple. There's webinars that are, he's not very smart. He's not smart at all, actually. He just wastes time and talks in circles about the art of persuasion and whatever. But I could very easily, I do graphic design, I do all that. I could make some type of something and whip it up real nice, and then go and do the text to word voice, and make a little infomercial, and the whole nine, and try to sell it for $250 or but I'm not doing that, because like I said, I feel that everybody should have this. But the only problem that I have is that this takes so much time, and I'm putting my energy into you. So the way that I have it set up is, if you think it's bullshit, you know what I mean, like I'm putting something into you. If you believe in this, put something into me, because it works both ways. But it's taken me a long time to come to these realizations, because you have to be dead honest with yourself. If you can't be honest with yourself, then you're never going to get it, because the only way to understand these things is to be honest with yourself. And to be honest with yourself is to listen to the first feeling, the first reaction, the first voice. To listen to your voice. Because there's a voice that speaks to everybody. It's your thoughts. And then there's another voice that speaks to you, and that's your desires. And I'm not gonna, put names on what they are, but everybody knows, the internal struggle that we go through. You think about something, or a situation's presented, and you think about what's going to make you feel good, the best desired outcome for how it's going to make you feel with losing the least. So, when we think like that, we're thinking about this outcome, that outcome, and we're creating all these different variables, and that's what we get. We get a scattered pattern back. If you think, without thinking, if you just stay in the moment, like as you're like for example, I have a problem with music. Music is the worst. I mean, it's great for relaxing and stuff like that, but it's the worst for distracting, because you get a song stuck in your head and it just plays and plays and plays, and whatever those words are, whatever that song is about, you're programming yourself. Plain and simple. You're programming yourself with the songs, the lyrics, everything. You're programming yourself with music. And when you program yourself with music, it's subconsciously you're programming yourself, and it's a lot harder to get things out of your subconscious than it is with your conscious mind. So you got to be aware of what is coming in. For one, I don't watch scary movies. I just don't. And it's not because I'm scared of them, it's because it's bullshit, and I just, I don't want that in me. That doesn't exist to me. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't care. It just doesn't interest me, and I just don't want it. I don't like them, It's just, when you start realizing the effect that all this bombardment, the media, everything, like, this is what the game is. This is the game, to control your conscious mind and to keep you distracted. It's wave, it's wave something shiny in front of them. You know what I mean? And they'll all be, mesmerized. And everybody is mesmerized. It's a big mesmerized society that people just are searching and so desperate to figure out the meaning of life and God and all these core issues. Once you start getting older, you start thinking about, and even when you're younger, but it all comes back to what we think and how we think it, and it's so easy. It's the easiest thing in the world. You get what you think. Okay, easy enough. But, when being able to follow through on it and training yourself to follow through on it is something completely different. But it is so much easier when you start following these clues. So when you see these coincidences taking place, rather than shrug them off and, be like, that's bullshit, rather than thinking this is crazy, rather than anything, like, if somebody was on the other side and they were trying to communicate with you, how in the hell would they communicate with you? Through your senses. Okay, so how do we see things in our mind? Why is it called the third eye? Because we see pictures in our mind. They're our thoughts. So when we look in our mind, we can see anything we want to see. We can see anything. There's a light in your mind because you can see it. How do you see things in your mind? Where's the light coming from? Did you ever think about that? Where is the light coming from to see those thoughts? And when you realize that light comes from within, it doesn't come from without. The light comes from within. So when you follow that light, it leads you somewhere. And not only does it lead you somewhere, but if someone was behind that light, or something, or some ever-pervading or all-pervading, all-knowing, something was behind that, what do you think the most logical way they would communicate would be? Through those pictures, right? Through that channel that you see in your mind that never goes dark. So when you realize that there's a veil. There's two sides of the curtain. There's the side of the curtain that you run, and the side of the curtain that you operate in. And then there's the side of the curtain that as a whole we all operate under the capacity of God or collective conscience or whatever you want to call it. And that, specific, whatever you want to call it, entity, power, whatever, knows everything. It's beyond anything you can conceive. It's the river of life. It's the well. It's the source. And when you realize that it creates perfectly all the time without our help, then you realize you don't need to do anything but sit back and enjoy the ride. Stop trying to steer. And when you stop trying to steer and your mind starts not being clouded and filled with all your wants and desires, then stuff from behind the veil starts slipping through. Stuff from behind the curtain starts slipping through. And that comes in the form of random thoughts. The thought where you're sitting there and something pops in your mind out of nowhere and you're like, where the hell did that come from? I know I didn't think about it. If you can determine, being honest with yourself, that you didn't think about it, then that is a genuine message. Okay? Now, I'm not going to give too much away. You're going to have to, go check it out, and it's not bullshit. And if you're following along so far, then you hear what it is. But the point is it's coming to a point where we're only going to be able to operate with that other system, because this system that we exist in is obsolete. Okay? And it's obsolete because the power behind us is now linked. And not only is it linked, but it's propelling forward, and it's being stirred up because of the energy that we are all susceptible to because of our electronic nature. And we are magnets walking around. Your heartbeat is a wave. It's a frequency. It's like music. There's the top of it is the positive, the bottom is the negative. It's a wave. It's a sound wave. It's the same thing as the electromagnetic field around the earth and the sun and all these things, atoms, everything. But it's like there's a point where these things that are separated, these two fields, the positive and the negative, there's a point where they basically go out and come back in and cancel each other out, and then continue moving, and then go out, and then they cross again and switch again, and then it's like two snakes, just moving in and out. And it's a sound wave. It's like a wave if you look at it in a linear fashion, and it's just a natural. That's the pulse. It's the heartbeat of this bigger creature that we live in. This bigger entity that we live in, our universe. Because this is all. Everything's alive. It's all alive. If you've ever thought, maybe I'm just a germ in a big body, you are. And that body, because you're in that body, you're a part of that body. You make up that body, and it's just the nature of a field. If it's it's interweaving like that, it basically it's like it's the opposites push each other out and they crash, and then they push each other out and crash, and it creates pretty much it's just hard to put it the way I see it into words, but it's only the repelling of the two that keep it going separate, if you understand what I'm saying. So it's only the fear of death that keeps our heart beating. To put it in another way that's relative, and the ancient breath that they talk about, well, that's another topic. But going back to this system, whether people want to believe or not, like I said, I specifically have had, I've had references. I've had references, and I've had signs and symbols for the system, but I haven't seen it. And the reason I say that is because I visually see. Like my ability is visual. I see, I taste, I smell, I feel, all my senses. Energy or information. Once you get to a certain level, energy and information just comes to you from everywhere. You just got to know how to understand it and read it. And I seen this comet. Okay, I know that the comet, I know for a fact. Okay, and after the comet, just go and watch the other videos. But after the comet, there's basically this polar shift and this 0-point gravity. And the 0-point gravity is the fusion. Okay, it's the point where the two fields cross and reverse. Just like the sun. The sun flip-flops every 11 years, they say, the poles. And go look at some charts for that, and you'll get an idea of what I'm talking about. It's exactly what I'm talking about for what we experience as well. And the sun flip-flops, the earth flip-flops, we flip-flop. Okay, as above, below, within, without. There's, all these super smart people on YouTube, but they're too smart for their own damn good. Like all these people that have left all these arrogant, ignorant comments and just ran their mouths and said dumb shit that, made them, I try to just, turn cheek and, just ignore it. But some people are really stupid. Like I'm sorry, but there's no hope for some of you. So, I just gotta accept that, and I can't save the world. But I'm trying to save as many people as I can, and at least I know I put an effort into this. I could easily keep this to myself and guard it, and I was told to do that. Plain and simple. If you watch my other videos, I told you. My spirit guides told me, do not do this. They told me to keep it to myself, and I fought with it for years, and then I decided to move forward with it because, whether this is all for nothing or not, I want to help other people to understand this because it's so amazing. I want to share it with other people. And that is my true intent. There's no ulterior motive. The book was a secondary, idea that I've been thinking about doing for a long time. And my initial plan was to sell it and become a millionaire. and whatever. But that's what my wife still wants me to do, and I hear about it every day. Every day. You guys have no idea what I go through. Like I'm a sucker or something. I'm not a sucker. I just, she just doesn't understand. It's I can't sell, and charge $500 a piece for something that's yours too. So I'm gonna stop rambling, and I just figured I'd update you guys with that. Some of you have been following along, since the beginning, since with Rex, and since I did the interview, and I appreciate your support and positive comments and encouragement, stuff of that nature. And I hope you guys see that I have the intent to do what I'm telling you. If anything that you just listened to came off to you as bullshit, unsubscribe and don't come back. I'd rather not give you this information anyway because you're not going to get it. It's just going to be lost. So it's a waste of energy. Somebody that is going to get it could be listening. So it is what it is. But everybody, again, thank you. The link's underneath. And stay vigilant, stay tuned.